seen Olivier Camois
He was
play?
terrific. He was absolutely terrific, and it started yesterday in practice. I think without question, yesterday is the best practice he's had since he's been here. What he brought, his energy, and the fact that he carried it over, was really happy for him because I know how much he cares. I know how much he wants to do the right thing, and to see him come out and play the way he did today, it's really special. Really, really happy for him.
Kind of same question about Zakai. We've been talking about his evolution for the past month. Was this maybe the pinnacle so far?
What can you say about him? I mean, he's got to be right there, the very best point guards in the country. When you think about what he does night in and night out, consistently doing it, learning the position as he goes through with it. Defensively, he does it. How many minutes he played tonight? 37, and I always ask him, how you feel? He said, I'm fine, Coach. But the fact is, the way he distributed the ball, and he got a little excited when we had a chance to give them credit. We could have really stretched it out, but they, older, experienced team, stayed in it. I thought they really maintained their poise, but then Z got a little excited and turned it over. I think they scored 6 straight points off turnovers on where we were trying to force too much. But what he's learning how to do is make his teammates better, which is the sign of a point guard, the guy becoming a point guard, understanding that's his job, to find a way to make his teammates better on the offensive end. And as he continues to do that, he's going to make everybody better. And by doing that, we get better.
Ryan, Mike, and Gentry.
You mentioned Olivier's energy in practice yesterday. Just the intensity and energy that he had today, how do you bottle that up and get it on a more consistent basis?
That is a great question. You know, if I could figure that out, and maybe, you know, last year it hit him all at once where, you know, he was playing great basketball before he got hurt. Maybe this is what it's going to be to get him going. But I thought he really searched out his spots on the floor. I thought he understood tonight so much where he wanted to get the ball and what he wanted to do. Never looked rushed, never looked like he was not sure what he wanted to do. And I just hope it gives him the kind of confidence that he can keep building on it with. Because he works, and you guys know him, he loves the game, and he works at it, and he deserved this night.
Is that the most consistent and steady effort you've seen across 40 minutes from this team this year? I know there's been a lot of games that looked like that, but was this the start to finish best?
You know, they got a lot in the second half, and you got, again, Rodney does a terrific job. I mean, he's handled a very difficult situation, and I thought he's a very poised individual, and I think their team played with a lot of poise, and whether the fact that we didn't play as many people tonight, we were giving up back cuts, easy baskets, but that's what they do. They run a really good flow motion game where, because you're really trying to work hard, they're a really good two-point shooting team, and you're trying to run them off cuts, and you get too aggressive doing that. They do a great job of back cutting. They did that tonight to us too many times. End of the game, we can't do what we did at the end of the game, not being ready on an out-of-bounds play and giving up 2 3-point plays back-to-back. I mean, those type things. But we beat a really good basketball team tonight.
Yeah, Rick, you've had right here.
Right.
You've had obviously a lot of good teams, but never one that defensively has had the numbers this team does. What do you think's made this group special? And then is it also comforting to have a game that you can get it done offensively when Texas does play pretty well in the second half offensively?
Well, I think the key is we've got individuals that want to be good defensive players, and we've got individuals that can not only guard the basketball consistently well, but they also can help their teammates. And the last couple of weeks, we've really tried to harp on when we switch, because we love to switch. We'd like to be able to go 1 through 5 if we can with our post guys, being able to stay in front of the ball. But the biggest thing that we've tried to get them to understand is personnel. When we do switch, do you understand how we need to play this particular player at this particular time? And tonight, really, some of the breakdowns, and I might be wrong when I watched the tape, but what I saw tonight, I thought our guards didn't do a very good job in switching situations where some of the threes they gave up, some of the good looks they got early in the game. Transition defense wasn't great. They had some looks that could very well have gone down. But to really answer your question, we've got a group of guys that I think that believe in defense and they want to be good at it. And that's a big part of it, guys that want to be good at it and know that it really is something that we have to be good at to be the team that we want to be. And there's a lot of things that go into it, but that's where I think, too, our guys know that we've got to get better with some things.
Rick, Rodney said this team has the ingredients to go to the Final Four. I assume he knows what you're looking for as well as anyone. What do you think that's true? Do you think this team has what it needs?
And I would say that about his team. The fact that this year, at this point in time in the season, I'm not sure any team has just totally separated themselves. You know, there's a lot of basketball left. I mean, here's what I would say. I heard Jay Billis say it today, that this time a year ago today, North Carolina had the exact same record they have right now and got it turned around and got it going. Kansas a year ago today got beat by 30 points, just like Alabama did today. So it's a long way to go. Every game, again, I think all the games are big. I do. I think I always tell our team in November, if you don't think this game is big, wait till March, those November games. And so right now, I mean, I love this team. I think we got a chance to be as good as we want to be. And I think that it's up to one thing. Are we tough enough to embrace the daily grind and not worry about going to the Final Four, not worry about the NCAA tournament, but can we build a team that can be successful that time of year? And it starts with truly embracing the grind every single day, and it's tough because we've been at it a long time. And can you knock out all the noise around you? Can you not, let whatever's out there, the noise, talk about it and just be able to come to work? And I told him today, we've got to have a man's mentality in the fact that when we come in here and we get ready for games, it's not about being all emotional and jacked up. It's about taking care of business and knowing that it's hard to win games against a team like the University of Texas. And now I think we go to Florida next week. It's hard. And it's only going to get harder because February teams get better. And that's why we've got to get better or we'll go backwards.
Rick, you talked a minute ago about how hard Olivier works and how much this means to him. When you feel that from a player, how much easier is it to kind of help them along the process? Because I know Olivier's development's kind of taken some time. Is it kind of easier to hang with guys when you know how much they care like that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I love O. I mean, I love him to death. And if I could put it on him every night, I'd love to because he really wants to be good. And he takes it. I mean, he and I have had we had a couple of weeks ago, we had a long, long talk. And it was a talk where he got emotional with me and just said, I don't know why, but I want to do it, and I want to do it. And the fact is, I do know he wants to do it. And the fact is, he's a guy, practice, he's coming back every night. He's going to be up there in Pratt or if this is open, he'll be here. And like you just keep working, but I've also told him he's got to embrace the mental side of it more than anything, understand truly what he's good at. And he is good. There's a lot of things that he really does well. I was just so proud of him getting in a stance, really trying to fix some things, because the other night against Georgia's very first play of the game, he blew the ball screen coverage, very first play of the game. And I told him, I said, I know you don't want to do it. Why'd you do it? And he just said, my mind's not in the right place. I said, well, when you get it there. And he came out in practice yesterday, and he was all over the place. And that's part of the growth process. Sometimes the light comes on sooner or later for some people, but I promise you, if you ask anybody on the team that they want to see do well, they would tell you they want, because he cares, and he cares a great deal. So it's obviously happy. We're all happy for him.
About that practice yesterday, just the energy he brought, but what else specifically did he do that you kind of allowed you to foresee tonight?
Playing with it. I mean, he had a dunk yesterday in practice, and the whole place came to life. I mean, he went in there yesterday, and it looked like he dunked it with his armpit. And I'm like, I walked over and said, why are you holding back? Why don't you do that all the time? I mean, at least try to do it. But sometimes players can put a block up, but the fact is, his teammates trust him, and he actually was going to take himself out one time night, which I was proud of, but timeout came, and I said to him, which I don't know if I've ever said it to him, how you feel? You want to stay in the game? And he said, this is all I need. I said, okay, stay in the game, because normally he's tired. I would say, let's do it. But I know the guys are really happy for him.
Rick, I know you've been on both sides of this Big 12 SEC challenge. Are you sorry this thing's coming to an end?
Well, this is going to be a conference game with Texas. We play, so it's going to end up doing that. You know what? I think that when it started, I think it was a good thing for both leagues. I also think that it took ESPN a couple years to get it in this spot. They wanted it from the very beginning. This is when they wanted to play sort of kind of in between the playoffs and football and that. And I think it's been good for both leagues. I do. In some, I don't know where it is right now today, but next year we start. Is it next year we start the ACC? And then think about it, a year, not next year, but the next year, Oklahoma and Texas will come into the league, and so it'll be a conference game from here on out. But I think the challenge. The only thing I didn't like about the challenge, and I said it from the time that when I went to the Big 12, we were talking about doing these challenges, and I was in the Big East back when the ACC Big East started, and always somebody from the Big East got left out, and I've never thought it was fair, And then they said there was a rotation system. Well, I never saw it. I just know it seemed like Providence, Boston College, and somebody else, and I get it. I know enough about it to know it's TV pushed. The thing starting with the ACC, I think next year we'll have all of our teams, or when it starts, I think we'll have all of our teams in. Then when we come in, they'll be without one team. It's a real challenge because think about it, Texas A&M top spot, they're not even in it, and they, so this, I don't know if we can call it a real challenge because, you wish that you could schedule the games the week before and really get the teams matchups that you wanted, but I just think you got to have all the teams to play to call it a real challenge.
Coach, obviously Olivier had a great practice, but what specifically out of the matchup against the Sioux that you saw that you kept exploiting that matchup?
Well, we just felt like, ball screen, was Zakai getting there, and they certainly are a very physical team, and they pay a lot of attention to shooters, and so I don't think they were willing to leave Santi or Josiah, those guys on the perimeter. And when we normally, we do a couple different things in the ball screen, and with him there, we were trying to just open the court up to give Z a lot of room to operate and try to get somebody behind him, and it was good, but they also turned us over twice at a critical time and went down and scored off of it. But it goes back to where I think Zakai's just getting better and better in ball screens and starting to see the whole court.
Obviously, everyone knows about Tennessee's defense and how great it is, but what would you say is underrated about your team's offense?
I don't know if it's underrated. The question I asked our guys last night, I stopped the film last night when we were in a defensive possession in practice, and I saw 4 guys pointing, talking, and helping each other. And I said, why don't we do that on offense? I said, you guys obviously understand what you're supposed to do on defense. Why can't we totally buy in and understand it's hard to play really good offense against a team like Texas that can really guard? I said, until we can execute at the level we need to, and that means guys that screen need to screen, guys that need to cut need to cut. We need to do a better job putting the ball where it needs to be. And I said, it's hard. I said, running offense, you're looking for timing out of it, but you're looking for fundamental basketball. And we are a very fundamental team defensively, and when we're not playing good offense, it's because we're not very good fundamentally. We dribble the ball too much, not locked into where we need to get the ball, what we need to be looking for, but when we're locked in on the offensive end, I do think we're a good offensive team. Coach, thank you. All right, thank you all.